Hello everyone, welcome to Adam Citra. Have you ever take a picture on your phone and a camera and completely you got a blurry image and way too dark? You try to fix it, but you don't know which settings to change. As someone who spent a lot of the time behind a camera photography and working on video production, I still have the same problem until I master the core foundation of a photography. Understand how to control your manually camera is not just for professional only. Once you know the secrets to balance your light, you can instantly upgrade your photos from amateur snapshot to cinematic snapshot, with high quality image using any camera you have. The magic formula is called the exposure triangle. Before we dive into the learning process, we need to understand the three main pillars that control into the light on your camera. It is ISO, shutter speed, aperture. Now, let's start the learning process by breaking down how these three work together to create the perfect shot. Let's begin with the first element, exposure triangle, which is ISO. ISO is an important thing to understand because camera is sensitive to the light. How sensitive your camera sensor is to incoming light? A lower ISO like 100 to 400 is used for bright place, such as shooting at outdoor, shooting for animals or flowers or landscape. We need the lower ISO because who want need a higher ISO to take a picture already bright. A higher ISO like 1600 to 3200 is necessary for low light situation to make the image more bright. However, you must be careful. Push the ISO over limit will introduce the grain and noise that will reduce your image quality. Now that we know about how to control light sensitivity, let's look at how to capture motion. Shutter speed is how long the shutter camera stay open to let the light hit the camera sensor. When light hit the camera sensor, the image will be introduced to the screen. A fast shutter speed like 1000 per second to 4000 per second for fast moving action, making everything look sharp, no blurry and freeze image. A slow shutter speed like 5 to 15 per second will create the motion blur to the image, which is great for showing movement or shooting the light trail. If you want shooting a video, a standard cinematic rule is to double your frame rate for your shutter speed, such as 15 per second for 24 frames per second video. That will create a natural motion blur on footage. Next part, let's talk about how to get a beautiful blurry background. Aperture is opening in the lens that's let light pass through, and that we call is f-stop. A lower aperture like f1.2 to f2.8 create a shallow depth of field that give you a blurry image background, also we know as a bokeh, which is perfect for portrait picture. A higher aperture number like f8 to f11 keep everything from the front to the back in a sharp focus. it making deal for a landscape shot. Lastly, best combination of exposure triangle. We have covered all three elements. Let's see how these three elements work. The exposure triangle is all about balance. If you adjust one settings, you usually have to adjust one of the other to keep the exposure correct. For example, if you want a very blurry background, you will use a low aperture. This let in a lot of light, so to avoid overexpose the shot, you must lower your ISO or increase your shutter speed. The best trick is to decide your priority first. Do you want to freeze motion or get a blurry background? Set that specific setting first, then adjust the two other to balance the light. In conclusion, the three main units to archive in the exposure triangle are ISO for the light sensitivity, shutter speed for motion control, aperture for the depth of field, and blurry image. I hope the demonstration I show to you help full of control your camera to make a better image and look professional level visual. Thank you.